Tonight, a neighboring province is sending more help to fight wildfires. And if you break the fire ban, it'll cost you between $50,000 to $150,000.
I think it's very clear that the size of the increases and the penalties, including imprisonment, that we mean business.
I don't agree with people having fires. It's been way too dry.
We have many people who are really surprisingly resentful towards the new fire ban, and it's really, I'm struggling with that.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Heather Gillis. Here's what we know about the 3 fires that are burning on the island today. Officials say the fire near Kingston in Conception Bay North has grown again. That fire is now 2,875 hectares, with growth mostly coming from the western side of that fire. Moving on to the fire near Holyrood now. That one hasn't grown in the last day. It's still about 22 hectares, but ground crews and a helicopter are still trying to get that one under control, but do have hose around it now. In central Newfoundland, there was a slight increase in the size of the Martin Lake fire. That one is now about 230 hectares. Provincial officials say they're monitoring the Bay d'Espoir Highway in case that road needs to close. Crews are building fire breaks near the fires in Kingston and Martin Lake. Meanwhile, officials say they are still getting reports of people setting fires intentionally. Premier John Hogan says there have been 28 fires this week, and the penalties for breaking the provincial fire ban are now significantly higher and include more prison time.
So effective today, new fines will range from $50,000 to $150,000. For a first offense, when a ticket is issued, fines will increase from $75 to $50,000. And imprisonment in default of payment will increase from 3 days to up to 6 months. For a subsequent offense, fines will increase from $150 to $75,000. Imprisonment for not paying will increase from 6 days to up to 6 months.
The Premier also says extra help for fire crews is on the way. The military is expected to arrive today. Tomorrow, 2 water bombers from Quebec will arrive, and on Sunday, 2 more water bombers and a bird dog aircraft from that province will also get here. The Premier says it'll be a massive increase in the resources the province has to fight the fires. And the evacuations caused by the fire in Kingston is still keeping residents from 6 towns in Conception Bay North out of their homes. Here and Now's Henrika Wilhelm is joining us now from Job's Cove. That's just north of Ochre Pit Cove, which was told to evacuate yesterday. Henrika, what's the situation like there now?
Heather, it's been a very hazy day here in Conception Bay North. Behind me there on the horizon, you can see the evacuated towns in the distance and the smoke that is coming up from that area. As for how people here feel, well, the situation is very similar to the towns down the shore. People are worried, people are tired, and they're mentally drained.
You know, you got sirens going up and down, and it's creating kind of a lot of anxiety in people's minds. You know, if you go to bed, do I have to get up in the middle of the night? Is my house going to be burned? Or it's not good.
That's how people just north of the evacuation feel, like Eugene Howell and his family. We met him at his house in Northern Bay. While they're not evacuated yet, they've been watching the fire and the smoke with great concern.
A lot of people are feeling that it's going to get even more severe and the whole shore is going to be wiped out. There's people thinking that if the wind changes to more in the Northern Bay area and we're heavily forested, it's maybe not be good. So the stress level is quite high.
Howell said the spread of the fire is not surprising, given how dry the area has been all summer, perfectly illustrated by the Northern Bay Sands River. Almost no water, the tips of the rocks dry.
You can tell it's just a trickle, and people, local people in the area have wells are starting to report their wells are gone dry. So, you got people come to stay with you. Now your well has gone dry, so that's even more stress. But it is very dry.
Nearby in Lower Island Cove, Tanya Kearley-Russell has noticed it too. This willow has started turning yellow over the past few days, she says. Everything bone dry.
Just look at this. This was purple and green. So this is ready to go up. And it's just so dry.
Russell and her husband and 5 cats are among the evacuees. They packed up their house in Western Bay with an anxious feeling.
I became frantic, and I'm a really good, I'm a strong person in a crisis, but I will admit that I had a little bit of an absolute panic when I looked around, because everything material precious to me in my life is in that house. I grabbed an Afghan that my grandmother, who passed away when she was 102, she'd made it for us for our wedding in the early 90s. Then I grabbed that, and when I realized that I was holding something so precious to me, I was really sad.
So residents here are not just sad, they're also angry over people having fires and throwing out cigarette butts and bottles. They agree with higher fines announced by Premier John Hogan earlier today. We just heard him there. And they hope that people will start to realize the potential consequences of their actions and that real lives and livelihoods are at stake here. Heather?
Thank you, Henrika. Turning to Holyrood now, we've got some breaking news to tell you about. Just minutes ago, the evacuation order for parts of that community was revised. Residents living from 377 Conception Bay Highway, so the Irving Gas Bar, and northward to 103 Conception Bay South Highway by Murray's Peak Hiking Trail can return to their homes. But the evacuation order issued for the northern section of Holyrood remains in effect. And while all of this is good news for some of those people who can go home, it's still an active fire, and there are still fire crews on the scenes working on hotspots. Earlier today, Julia Israel was there getting a sense of how residents are coping.
The latest update from officials is that the response to the Holyrood fire is looking good. But today on the ground, we're still seeing a lot of haze, a lot of smoke in the sky, and residents are still quite concerned as to how this is all going to play out.
No, that's absolute BS. Okay, I've been out here since, 3 o'clock this morning, and then 5 o'clock, and the smoke is getting worse. It's coming this way.
Rob Smith, on a stint out in Alberta in 2016, narrowly escaped the Fort McMurray wildfires in the nick of time.
It's burning up the ridge that way.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. If it crests that ridge, we're in a world of shit.
Now, back in Seal Cove, Smith is reliving a past he thought was behind him.
PTSD is a big time problem. I haven't really slept since Monday when it all flared up. And I just, go hour to hour and keep an eye on everything like that, because we got, family at home here in Seal Cove. And if we need to go, we need to go. And it's not that, we're all packed up and ready to go.
Every few minutes, another car pulls in, searching for signs of change, for hints of their fate.
I started coming Monday night just after we got our evacuation warning. And a couple of times a day, I come up and see the progress as it comes along. It's hard to go around your house and pick out what's important to get ready to leave. But each day I come back here, our area, they've done a wonderful job trying to contain it.
Residents say it's hard to know what to think. Smith is preparing for the worst.
Don't really have a plan on that. We've got everything packed, all our paperwork and everything, for that matter. I've got my son in Kilbride, but once you start going there, there's no way out. If it blankets over this way, there's no way out. So it's a scary situation.
With the heat hanging on through next week, it's hard to get relief. Julia Israel, CBC News, Seal Cove.
Well, the fire burning near the Bay d'Espoir Highway is prompting a lot of memories from 2023 when another fire closed that highway for days. Troy Turner reports.
As smoke fills the highway and fire continues to grow at Martin Lake, South Coast communities are preparing for the worst. That means possible closure of the only road connecting many communities.
Hopefully that this won't escalate to where it was last time that we, ran into days and days with the road closure and we couldn't get food in and that sort of thing, right? But if that happens, we're prepared. We'll do what it needs to keep our residents fed and keep our residents informed, and we'll learn from this one as well.
Harbour Breton, a town of about 1,400 people, is one of the most southerly on the Conagra Peninsula. The mayor says it's blessed with local businesses who carry all the essentials people will need in case it's cut off.
Most businesses probably only buy in a week's supply because the trucks are coming and going, twice a week. So, but anyway, hopefully people have learned and support local businesses. And times like this, we definitely need them.
The fire at Martin Lake grew slightly overnight. It covers about 230 hectares. Residents on the south coast are keeping a close eye on its progress.
We've asked residents in the past to make sure they have a 72-hour supply of the basic needs and medications and food and that sort of thing, right? So we keep, during emergency preparedness week, we keep reminding people that, make sure you have enough supplies to keep you on hand.
The first thing that comes to everyone's mind is, we're going to be cut off again and we're going to be short on supplies and short on fuel and that. So it's a different feeling this time with this fire. Like, I feel like people knows that it's a good possibility that this could happen. You go out around the community and it's all everyone's talking about is the fire.
Miabukak First Nation is also well equipped with emergency supplies needed, as well as medical staff and services.
Right now it's just a waiting game, I feel like, to see if it is either going to get worse or get better, and we're waiting. Like I said, we're prepared as prepared as it's going to get.
Community leaders say they are not alone and have a network of agencies and departments ready to help if the road does close. Troy Turner, CBC News, Gander.
And as you can see behind Troy, there are definitely hazy skies. That has been the story all day today, thanks to some smoke, again, in the upper atmosphere from the fires that are burning out west. And then we've got the smoke for central from that fire, and then across a good chunk of the northern portion of the Avalon as well. So Environment Canada still has those air quality warnings in effect for the Northwest Avalon, and then air quality statement for the eastern portion of the Avalon. So we're going to continue to see the poor air quality, like I said, and I've been saying all week, for as long as those fires are burning, but particularly through tomorrow, as well as this upper level smoke continues to hang around as well. We've been in a ridge of high pressure, and that is essentially sinking air, and that's trapping that smoke, which is why we are even smelling the smoke as much as we are. Now, as we head through tomorrow, we'll continue to see those hazy skies. We'll likely see a break by the time we get into Sunday morning for some areas, but overall, it's the same pattern. So I just wanted to show you right now what that smoke is doing from the Kingston fire. With those northwest winds, we're definitely seeing it on the Avalon, and we'll continue to do so as well, especially with these winds. So they'll be variable overnight tonight and into the first part of tomorrow, and then we'll see those winds pick up 20 to 40 kilometer per hour wind gusts, and they'll be out of the southwest. I'll have your full forecast coming up a little later.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Ashley. In other news, police are investigating the discovery of human remains in St. John's. The RNC responded to a report of a body in a small clearing near the Three Pond Barrens. Police say there is no risk to public safety. They don't believe the death is suspicious. The remains haven't been identified, but they're believed to be male. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner and Memorial University's Anthropology Department are investigating. Well, athletes are arriving for the Canada Games. Team Alberta, the first to touch down at the airport this morning. Athletes say the Games are an exciting competition and they're ready to get started.
It's our first multi-sport kind of event having to do when we're young, and from somebody who also wants to go to the Olympics when I'm older, I think it's such a cool experience that I get to do something like this and have a run through and see what it's like and meet all the athletes that maybe I'll be at the next games with one day. So yeah, I think it's going to be incredible. I'm so happy to be here. Red eye or not, well, I'm pretty pumped.
Welcome back. More than 5,000 athletes, coaches, and managers are here for the Canada Games, and they'll all need a place to sleep and eat during the 2 weeks of competition. The host society offered a tour of where everyone is going to be staying.
We're currently in McPherson College, a Shywalk building, and this is one of the rooms that an athlete will be staying in. If you'd like to come in and have a look. They have what they need here, and they have the opportunity to put their nice new blanket on the bed as well. So this is where a whole other set of athletes, coaches, managers will also be staying. We're going to have just under 2,600 athletes for week 1 and around 2,500 athletes, coaches, managers for week 2. So a lot of people, and you're seeing a lot of beds going in and out of these. So we've supplemented what you've seen as over at Shywalk or McPherson, and then there's other spots that have been supplemented with additional bunk beds. So this is Guju Hall up here, and then we've also brought in an additional tent to be able to feed more athletes. It'll be around 700 athletes an hour is about the stat throughout the day. So a lot of feeding will take place here and also at our venues. So these are like our storage containers for each province and territory. And then you have some tents out here in the middle, so in the evenings when the cyclists get back or the mountain bikers get back, then they can work on their bikes and tune it up and things like that. So this is a big area for them to do that. Welcome to the Ack Arena, where we'll have swimming, jogging, and artistic swimming. We're so close to so many sporting events. We will have 7 different sports happening in and around the village, and then with tennis about 300 meters away from there. So they just will have a great opportunity to come over and check out the aquatic sports, go over to the Fortis Canada Games complex for soccer or athletics, and then at the field house you'll see volleyball and basketball being played. So what a great opportunity. They don't have to look for rides. They're just going to be able to walk around the village and cheer on their teams and other teams.
Late this afternoon, Team Newfoundland and Labrador arrived at the Athletes Village for the 2025 Games. The opening ceremonies will kick off tomorrow, but first, our Jeremy Eaton chatted with the chef de mission.
We've got about 475 athletes, coaches, managers, participant assistants, and we just make sure everybody's registered, they have the proper accreditation, they have, logistics around food and dining. We assign them to rooms, like everything, clothing that they're going to be receiving. It's all sort of under our purview. There are 1,000 jobs to do. The first evening that they arrive, we will get together and have a pep rally / orientation with the contingent, welcome them, remind them of some ground rules and reminders that they have, but really also to just make sure that they enjoy the moment, take in everything that the Games has to offer. It really is about more than just your sport. There's a lot of cultural things happening, festivals, getting out to cheer on other teams, seeing a sport that you've never seen for the first time. Like there's so much more to a Canada Games than just your own national sport competition. We did put a real big emphasis on these games on the mental performance piece. So we are very lucky. We have Dr. David Hancock and Dr. Erin McGowan. They're going to be with us here on the ground as mission staff for the 2 weeks of these games. They have been working with some teams for the last year maybe, doing what they do, their expertise, training and helping these athletes prepare. And so we're very excited. So during the games, if we have a situation where an athlete or a team are struggling, then they are on call for the games to work through the games and to work through these issues with the teams. So ultimately, as I had said to you earlier, we talk about our goal is for our athletes to do their best, nothing less. So to make sure that when they step onto their competition field this week or next week, that they are ready to be at the top of their game. I think that they're going to have friendships that last a lifetime. I think they're going to make memories here in St. John's. I think it's just going to be probably amongst their best sporting experience, their best athletic experience that they're ever going to have.
Welcome back to Here and Now. A 38-year-old man in Sheshatshiu has been arrested on multiple weapons and threats-related charges. Yesterday afternoon, police issued a shelter-in-place order in the community after the man was seen carrying around a gun. About 2 hours later, police arrested the man and lifted that shelter-in-place order. He faces 5 charges. Ashley's here with a look at your weather forecast in depth now, and warm temperatures right across the province.
It certainly is. Feeling very summery out there. Yeah, well above where we should be sitting this time of year. We're typically sitting somewhere between 19 to 21 degrees. We shattered that. 31 degrees in Grand Falls, Windsor today. Corner Brook sat around 27, and then up across Labrador, anywhere from 25 degrees in Nain. That was the cool spot across the Big Land, and 32 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay. So no surprise, heat warnings are in place, and we also have those air quality alerts as well as the statements in effect. And again, we'll continue those as we head through the weekend, as well as these hazy skies will stick around as well. And you can kind of see that on the radar here, just those what looks like upper level cloud, but it's smoke from the atmosphere. And again, that's going to stick around. We're not going to see any relief from that until we get to at least Sunday. But we're going to still be dealing with the smoke from the fires that are burning locally as well. We also have heat warnings in place. Green Bay, White Bay area, Deer Lake, through the interior, all along the northeast coast, including the northern Avalon. That's where we're seeing the heat warnings at the moment. And then up across Labrador, from Makkovik through to Norman Bay, Lodge Bay, Upper Lake Melville area, and Eagle River. No surprise with those temperatures as warm as they are today. The thing is we're not really seeing any relief in the overnight periods as well. Those temperatures are still going to be into the teens, mid-teens even. And we're going to continue to see this heat as we head through the weekend. I'll see a bit of relief for those of you along the north coast, even Lab West. We may see a little bit of relief tomorrow, but for the most part, the heat will continue for southeastern portions of Labrador and most of the island as well. Sunday, Monday, even warmer. Tuesday, potentially even warmer. And then by the time we get into Thursday, we'll start to see some relief from that heat. Actually cool temperatures for Labrador, at least the north coast and Lab West, as we get into the Thursday timeframe. We're going to hang on to a bit of heat. That southerly flow still sticking around Thursday across the island, but I do think that we'll start to see those heat warnings drop off, and certainly into Friday. That will be when we see more northerly flow and a significant drop in temperatures. Now, the other thing, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you look outside, even the last couple of nights anyway, the moon has looked full, but it will be full pretty much tonight and into sunrise on Sunday morning. So we're actually going to see, or it will appear full anyway. And this is the sturgeon moon. The August moon is referred to as the sturgeon moon. And the reason for that is because the sturgeon fish, there's typically a lot of them around this time of year in the Great Lakes. But the other thing you've probably been noticing is that the moon has been taking on a more orangey hue, and that's because of those hazy skies. So we'll expect that to continue as well. Now, as far as tomorrow goes, we're looking at a system moving through Labrador. This is going to bring some showers, potentially thunderstorms right along with it as well. Lab West later in the afternoon for central areas of Labrador, and then eventually towards the coast as well. So don't be surprised to see that. Generally dry again across the island portion of the province, but we may see a few showers through the overnight and into early Sunday morning, particularly for those of you on the west coast. There's your overnight lows tonight. 20 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay. That's incredible as an overnight temperature, especially for this time of year. Even Gander, 17 degrees overnight. Take a look at those temperatures again tomorrow, though. 28 to 30 degrees. The other thing is the winds. They will still be gusting. Well, they'll be gusting. We haven't really seen a whole lot of wind, but southwesterlies will be gusting somewhere between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Now, up across Labrador, it'll be a little bit more, especially in the west. You'll be gusting upwards of about 50. And even in some of those thunderstorms, you may see those winds gust a little higher than that. So that's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. I'll talk about the rest of the long-range forecast when I come back.
Well, forest fires have been dominating the news this week, and for the latest on wildfires in this province, we're going to bring in Mark Lawler. Right now, he is the Forest Fire Duty Officer in this province. Thanks for being with us, Mark. What's the latest on the biggest fire, which is the one in Kingston?
Good afternoon, Heather. The latest on the Kingston fire is that it's still out of control. There is active fire on that today. Very, very smoky conditions from the report I received. The firefighters were actioning the southern side of that fire, and as well working with some of the volunteer firefighters in and around the communities to put out hotspots that they were encountering, doing some home protection. Work continues on a fire guard on the northern section of the fire. We had to remove the equipment that was working on the fire guard on the south due to smoky conditions. And it was moved north, and they're continuing with construction there. We had 3 air tankers working the fire today, along with 3 helicopters. They were making some good progress on the northern side, so that's positive. However, the fire still is very active, and the new size has increased to about 2,785 hectares when they mapped it this morning. So the fire is still growing. I have no new figure as of today, but that's the current conditions on that one.
And of course, your resources are stretched with so many fires in the province. Another big one burning is near Martin Lake in central Newfoundland, sometimes threatening the Bay d'Espoir Highway. What can you tell us about that one?
The Martin Lake fire is still out of control. The Bay d'Espoir Highway is still open. No reports of it being smoked out or any issues. The evacuation order for the cabin owners in the area remains in effect. We had an air tanker there this morning, along with a helicopter, working the northern side of that fire. Good news is that it was held within its perimeter today. There was some active fire inside the perimeter, a lot of smoke, a lot of hot spots. But the positive news on that one is that it hasn't grown today.
Okay. And of course, closer to here in St. John's where I am, the Holyrood fire. What's the latest with that one?
Some positive news on that one today, although it's still considered out of control at this time. Our crews managed to get hose right around that fire, so now it's completely encircled. They didn't find any open flame there today. There was only hotspots, and they had a helicopter working with the ground crews, actioning those hotspots. They didn't find a lot today, so very positive news on that fire.
Mark, that must be really welcome news for people from that area who are evacuated. I know more help is on the way, the military, water bombers from Quebec. How much is that going to help your crews?
Certainly when you augment your resources, it helps, especially on a large fire like the Kingston fire, which is now up over 2,700 hectares. That's a lot of area to cover. So that will give us a significant bump in help there. In terms of we're getting 4 aircraft, which is certainly going to help us with the current fires, and as well. If we get any new starts, we now have aircraft we can take and put them on the new starts, and we're not losing our own resources. as we had to do the other day. We took one from Kingston and brought it to Buren. So now we can, with those added 4, we basically doubled. By Monday, we'll have doubled our fleet of water bombers, which is a very positive development.
Absolutely. How are your crews feeling? It's been a long, hot, and busy week.
All the reports are that morale is very good with the firefighters, and things are positive.
Okay, excellent. And obviously no change in the weather. Is it still possible to contain these fires given that there is no to little rain in the forecast?
That's the goal, is to try to contain these fires, but given the dry conditions, it's difficult to say if that will happen.
Okay. Well, Mark, thank you so much for sharing the latest with us, and good luck to you and your crews over the weekend.
Thank you.
Welcome back. They're the AA team, Annika Philpott and Annika Spracklin. They race together and they're the province's first female sailing team at the Canada Games, and they're taking on the challenge with gusto.
I'm Annika, and I sail the 29er.
My name's also Annika, and I also sail the 29er.
On the second week of camp, I was asked to join the race team. Then they also mentioned there was another Annika, who's also my age, also my height.
It's really weird. We've had to come up with a lot of different names because when someone shouts Annika, we both turn our head.
Yeah, so we just have Team AA as our name.
The Annikas, so they're actually fairly new. They came in there just last summer and they were gelling really good. They were good friends, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, geez, they're naturals, right? They got a really good, handle on this sport.
Good work, girls. Once you're on that pin, head for Zach.
At first we weren't so sure, but then it turned out we had like a lot in common, and we got the same vibes and stuff and the same name apparently.
Yeah.
Rabbit sails over here. Okay. I'm not gonna run.
I personally went to Canada Games with the sport of swimming there a few years back, and I just kind of walked them through my Canada Games experience and said, if this is something you guys want to try, let's do it. And they were just gung-ho. They've made every practice, they haven't missed a single workout, and they've just been so ready to go, so excited, and they've really put in that hard work that's necessary, to get to where they're to right now.
It can be a little difficult, but if you have the right mindset, then this might be a reach, but it's kind of a breeze.
My first couple times, I was like horrified. I was so horrified.
You just have to make it good.
Yeah, you have to make it fun. If you think that, okay, if I do this a couple times, I'm gonna get really good at this and it's gonna be a lot of fun, it happens. Because now when we're on the boat, it's just like so much fun and we have a great time. No matter if we're sitting in the water with our boat upside down, or if the coaches are yelling at us, or the guys are like crashing into us with their boat, we're always having a great time now that we're just a bit better at sailing.
They're really acing it. I can see that crew Annika is listening to skipper Annika, and they don't have to communicate as much because they're sort of starting to get a feel like the skipper knows where our crew's going to be, and they're really getting a hand of it, right?
Just our first drill, okay?
Sometimes it's really windy and we both
stressful.
get stressful, nervous, and we sing just together, just random songs. Just to be like bring some laughter to the boat. And a lot of the times when it's windy and we're sailing well, we always have a good time. Because we're always laughing, and if something goes wrong, we're just enjoying it together.
They always got something funny to say, it could be 40 knots of wind and we're out there and it's just terrible, absolutely terrible conditions. Nothing's going right and they got a smile on their faces and they're goofing off.
You guys okay?
The spirits are usually up, right? They're really, really good at kind of not getting super bummed out. They don't get all negative on me. They always got something goofy like that to kind of keep them going.
This is going to be great for teaming. We both have the same goals to go to the Canada Games and just to make the most of our experience, meet new people, see new sports, sail with the other provinces. And that's why we work well together, because we both have the same goals, both on the same wavelength, and that's it.
Still with the Canada Games, 6 people are being inducted into the Canada Games Hall of Honor, and that happened today, including one person from this province. Jennifer Bishop competed in tennis at the 1985 and 1989 Games. She's being inducted for her leadership roles in the sport, and she says her Canada Games experience helped in those roles.
It was my first opportunity to play for a team in a multi-sport competition. The camaraderie, the sportsmanship, the values that I learned from the 2 Canada Games that I participated in are those which I have been building on my entire career in sport leadership, in building, and I can't say enough how delighted I am that they are here in St. John's.
Well, if you've got a Canada Games ticket, you can ride the bus for free in St. John's. Anyone with a 2025 Canada Games accreditation or a ticket can ride for free throughout the Games. Metrobus is warning passengers, though, to expect delays. They're encouraging people to take buses earlier to get to places on time. Detours will also affect some routes. And during the Games period, a new route will be added, Route 34. It's going to be devoted to servicing many of the Canada Games facilities running every 30 minutes from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. The RCMP says they rescued a hiker on the East Coast Trail this week. On Tuesday evening, the woman became stranded near the Spout. That's a section of trail near Bay Bulls. Multiple first responder groups responded to the call for help, and the hiker was rescued the following morning. Police say people need to be prepared and safe while enjoying the outdoors. And this news comes as Parks Canada closed all access to the backcountry in Grossmoor National Park. Parks Canada says the closure is necessary due to the reduced capability of search and rescue due to the wildfires, as emergency resources are limited or unavailable during those fires. The ban applies to the Grossmoor Summit, Tablelands off-trail hiking, Western Brook Pond Gorge day hikes, as well as other trails. All backcountry camping is also prohibited. Statistics Canada says the Canadian economy lost more than 40,000 jobs in July. That pushes the share of people employed to an 8-month low. The loss of jobs was concentrated among permanent employees, according to the agency. They say the unemployment rate, however, remained unchanged, but at a multi-year high of 6.9%. Economists were expecting the economy to add over 13,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate they thought would tick up to 7%. Well, parenthood often involves adopting a bit of a mask in front of the children, but this might surprise you. The Prague Zoo is raising yellow-headed vulture chicks with puppet parents. It's a part of a breeding program, and it became necessary when the actual vulture foster parents stopped properly caring for their incubator hatched chicks. Direct contact with human caregivers would mean that the chicks might start identifying as humans, threatening further breeding.
for details.
Time now to bring some special greetings to some special viewers. Starting with Lorraine and Gordon Lawler of Kelligrews. We're wishing them a happy 60th anniversary from their family and friends, especially their great-grandchild Sophie. Happy 63rd anniversary on this coming Monday to Ben and Catherine Farrell of Harbour Grace, currently living in Gander. Love and best wishes from them. Happy 61st anniversary to Pamela and Winston Pretty of Shearstown. Happy anniversary greetings to Graham and Joan Budd on their 73rd wedding anniversary. They celebrated on Monday. John and Sandra Bull of Labrador City celebrated their 58th wedding anniversary on August 4th. Happy 53rd anniversary to Byron and Ina Wells of Cox's Cove. Anniversary greetings to Walter and Vera Matthews of Kippens, who are celebrating 67 years married today. Greetings from your family and friends. Happy 50th to Jody and Marilyn Dobbin of Port Saunders. Happy anniversary to Midge and Gordon Morgan of Mount Pearl, celebrating 65 years married today. Happy 55th wedding anniversary going out to Charlie and Marion Cook. They celebrated yesterday. Happy 55th anniversary to Lawrence and Beatrice Drodge from Little Hearts Ease. Happy 60th wedding anniversary this past Monday to Fern and Clayton Reed of Grand Falls, Windsor. Anniversary greetings to Cyril and Rosie Scoville of Deer Lake, celebrating 52 years married tomorrow. On to our special birthdays now. Happy 90th to Muriel Mills of St. John's, originally from Botwood. Happy 96th birthday to Jimmy Houlihan, who celebrated on Tuesday, formerly of Marisheen Island and Jerseyside, Placentia. He's now in St. John's. Lots of love from your family and friends. Happy 91st birthday to Clarence Hart, who was from Botwood and celebrated on this past Sunday. Happy 91st birthday to John Noble of Dover. Lots of love from family and friends. Happy birthday to Gordon Morgan of Mount Pearl, who celebrates 90 on Wednesday. Happy 90th birthday to Wesley Pilgrim of Mainbrook, who celebrates today. Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday, 95 years, to Leah Day, who had her special day on Wednesday. She's currently residing at Kingsway Manor in Grand Bank. Happy 93rd birthday to Stella Collins of Hare Bay, and a very happy 90th to Betty O'Brien of St. John's, who celebrated with her family and friends this past Tuesday. Happy birthday to John Hilliard of Clarenville. Now, he celebrated his 90th birthday on Tuesday with a special celebration with all of his family and friends. Happy 92nd to Clarice Crowley of Western Bay. Love from your family and friends. Nora White of Mount Pearl is celebrating 90 as well. Greetings from your family. Happy 95th to Gerard Kirby of Marystown from family and friends. Birthday greetings to Eileen Elms of Gander, who celebrates 92, and that was yesterday. Much love from all of your family and friends. Birthday wishes go out to Olive Fudge of Lewisport as she celebrates her 91st. That was on Monday. And love and best wishes from all of your friends and the Pleasant View Manor staff. Happy 95th birthday to Bridget Morrissey of North River, who celebrates Saturday. Lots of love from your large circle of family and friends. Time for another look at the weather. And Ashley, what's ahead?
A lot of heat, that's for sure. We're looking at those heat warnings generally continuing as we head through the weekend into next week. So let's take a look at what's going on until we get there. So Saturday is going to be a little stormy up across Labrador. You're looking at some showers and the risk of thunderstorms. Keep that in mind. If you have any outdoor plans, we'll see those showers eventually make their way towards southeastern portions of Labrador through the overnight and into Sunday morning. We may see some showers on the west coast of the island as well. So keep that in mind. That will move through. We may see some showers through central. But most of us will still be seeing those hazy skies. And then eventually into Sunday evening, we will see some clearing from that smoke in the upper levels. And then more showers likely for Sunday for the north coast of the island. Temperature-wise, not a whole lot of change. Still looking at those daytime highs in the mid to upper 20s. Some areas may reach the 30s as well, particularly around Happy Valley Goose Bay, where you'll be sitting around 31 degrees. A drop in temperatures for Nain for your Sunday. Temperatures will drop down to about 15 degrees. And we will see those cooler temperatures eventually for parts of Labrador as well. But you're going to hang on to that heat, that's for sure, for central areas. Now taking a look at our Monday, again a little bit more unsettled up across Labrador. Shower chances here and there across the island, though. Most of us will be seeing generally clear skies. We may see some clouds as we head into the afternoon, but again, it will be a quiet day. A few showers are not out of the question along the strait as well. You'll be sitting around 18 degrees. Again, another seasonable day for Nain. You'll be hovering around 14, but temperatures still upper 20s, low 30s for the majority of the Big Land, and then across the island as well with that sunshine. A little bit of cloud cover for the northern peninsula, but overall, again, mid to upper 20s will be the story. And we're also going to start to feel a little more humid as well, especially in the long range forecast. So your temperatures for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland will stay in the upper 20s. We may see a few showers by the time we get into Monday, but overnight lows still 16, 17 degrees through central. You're looking at those temperatures likely around the 20-degree mark overnight. That is incredible, considering our daytime highs are around 19, 20 degrees around this time of year. A few showers here and there, like I was mentioning, but look at that, 32 degrees for central by the time we get into Tuesday. And then for Labrador, you're hanging on to that heat right through Wednesday for the east, central and east really, with some showers there as well. Overall, western Labrador, we'll see those showers a little heavier on Tuesday, but you'll see the drop in temperatures by the time we get into Wednesday. Our weather photo of the day is in St. John's. We've been talking about the color of the moon and the sun, really, but this was the red moon over St. John's, of course, because of those hazy skies, and it looks full there, but remember, it's full tonight. Well, it'll appear full tonight, Sunday night, or Saturday night, and then early Sunday as well. So if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, because I'm sure you'll capture some beautiful photos, as you all always do, and you can share them with us at nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Yeah, great shot, Jennifer. I think I saw the moon looking like this last night when I was out running a few errands, and it had a little bit of cloud.
It was weird. I saw that too.
It looked almost like Halloweenish.
Very Halloweenish, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, with all that hot weather and more resources on the way from other provinces to help us fight the fires, hopefully they can, despite the weather, make some progress
yeah, that's
over the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's our show for tonight. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night.
Good night.